Today's tutorial, we're going to be focusing on contouring. Contouring with powders. I personally prefer powders rather than using 50 million shades of foundation. I have seen some crazy tutorials on that. So this is going to be a little bit more simple, basically. Before I start, I'm going to prepare Misha's skin with my favorite WELEDA skin food. Amazing product if you have got dry spots. It's quite rich and it smells absolutely heavenly. The foundation that I'm using for this tutorial is Ellis Fast, and the colour is S105. Really nice honey, warm colour. Starting with little dots down the T-zone, and we generally don't want to put foundation in our hairline, so it's a good idea to start in the central area and work out. And sometimes the throat area can be left a little pale compared to the face, so just tapering off the colour so it's more uniformed. Now I'm going to do my concealing around the eye area. For this one I'm using Benefit's Erase Paste. This is number 2. So it's quite peachy, which is great if you've got, say, a bit bluey under the eyes. It does help to counteract the blueness. I'm tapping the product into place. The heat from your finger will melt it in. Now I'm going to do the concealing on the face. Favourite product, Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage, number 4. And going round nose area, anywhere that's got any little blemishes, and then same technique, pushing that product into place. For the eyelids, specifically for the eyelids, Laura Mercier Eye Basics. Why don't I use foundation on the eyelid or concealer? Even if it's oil-free foundation or a dry concealer such as the Skin Camouflage, it will still crease up and move around. This stuff does not budge. It prepares the lids before you put eyeshadow on top. Straight to the eyelid and then blending with my finger. So now I've got the basics done, my canvas is completely covered. On this occasion, I am actually going to powder now. Laura Mercier Secret Eye Brightening Powder. Very, very finely milled powder. Fantastic for specifically under the eye area, but I actually quite like to use it all over the face. I'm just taking my MAC brush 217, just working from the lid of the same powder, and I'm literally just applying a tiny little amount directly under the eye so that nothing moves. Now I'm going to start contouring the actual eyelid. I'm applying Bobbi Brown in Bone. And with the bone, I've loaded up my MAC brush and I'm literally just buffing it all over the eyelid. Once I've got the product on, now I'm going to work on my contour. So this is a MAC palette and it has my 2 favourite contouring colours. This one is Definitive, the darker one, and this lighter one is Sculpt. They're specifically for the face, but the quality is so good you can actually use them on the eyes as well. They're quite smooth. If you've got quite a big brow bone up here, you want to push that back in a little, so that's where your contouring comes into effect. The whole trick is you're creating shape. When you think you've blended, you probably need to blend a little bit more. Contouring, I find, isn't always about hard lines. Now with the bone, I'm just going to use a smaller brush. It's a little smudge brush by Laura Mercier. I'm just going under the highlighted area. You don't want to apply too much. If you're highlighting it, you're going to make it look really puffy. You want to be quite careful with your highlight. You can see it's coming through and instantly lifting the brow bone. And I'm just pressing right into the root more or less of the lashes. So you can see I'm packing that colour on there, really layering it, and then smoothing over my brush. Now I'm going in for the mascara, my old favourite Maybelline. Love the brush. It's small, it's manageable, it's really great because it's small enough to get into those little tight areas and really get on top of those lashes. I'm going to wait until the lashes are dry before I do the bottom lashes. I don't want her to have those little dots up there. So now it comes to doing the contour for the face. I'm using a slightly angled blush brush, Laura Mercier, and I'm using the dark one, the definitive. Don't take your contour too high up onto the cheekbone. The cheekbone, you want that to pop out. You don't want to flatten it, and the contour will flatten it. You want these bits, just straighten up a minute, to be sucked in basically. So that's where we're gonna aim to take our contour. Now, I don't really like the hard lines on contouring. I like it to be quite soft. So just slowly building. If you find that you've gone too heavy-handed, again, just take your puff and just slowly buff it down. Now, if any lovely ladies out there have slightly bigger chin here, you would just take your brush and go underneath. I'm just going to add a little bit more contour under Misha's eye. No hard lines, should be really soft. And to finish off, I'm going to use a highlighter on the cheeks. Loading my brush up. And then sweeping it over the cheekbones. This has got a really beautiful rosy pink tone. A little bit down the nose, a little bit on the cupid's bow. It really highlights that, makes it pop. And then just to finish off, I'm going to use a lip crayon. Again, it's a Laura Mercier lip crayon, and it's called Burnt Clay. And then just with my finger, I'm just pushing it in. To finish off the T-zone. A little bit more powder on my powder puff. And then last but not least, that tiny little bit of mascara going on underneath the eye. And that is your contour look.